water is absorbed by the root hairs on the roots. Now the water has to get up to the leaves where it can do some good. Because in the leaves, it does photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, if you've seen my other YouTubes, photo meaning light. It needs water and carbon dioxide to do photosynthesis in the chloroplasts, using chlorophyll, the green chemical. Phil, weird spelling, Y-double-L, I don't know. Well, Y-double-L, that's the way of remembering it. Chlorophyll. Anyway, so needs the water and the minerals that it gets from the soil, which can be fertilised by the farmer or the gardener. So the fertilised, the minerals and the water have to go up the stem to the leaves, apart from for mosses, because mosses are very, very short. So in order to go up, what you need is evaporation. Evaporation, or evaporation. Evaporation is water going into the air. Sunlight comes down, warms up the water, and the fastest molecules escape the drop of water. That's evaporation. Now, the evaporation that happens at leaves is a particular type of evaporation. The leaf gets warm from the sun, the water becomes a vapour. But now, rather than be calling evaporation, the whole process of moving water up, it's called transpiration. Now, trans means move from one place to another. Transpiration. You can see that evaporation and transpiration are very, very similar. Well, evaporates. Evaporation. Transpiration. So transpiration is the movement of water up the stem. Now, it has to go up the stem through tubes, and those tubes are actually dead cells. That's why they're X cells. So they're no longer alive cells, hence X. They're called xylem cells. Well, the lum part is okay, but the xy part is difficult to spell. So that's why the xylem cells, they do their job. They grow, they die, they then continue to do the job, which is very nice of them to sacrifice themselves for the whole plant. The plant becomes stiff when it's full of water, just like a balloon becomes stiff when it's full of, air mostly. Can be helium or other gases. But a balloon, imagine a long, thin balloon, a balloon becomes stiff because it's full of water. And similarly, the plant leaves become stiff and the stem becomes stiff when it's full of water. This is called turgid. So the jid part is not a J, it's a G. The jid part and turgid. Turgid means that the whole leaf is stiff. That's what you want. Now, some people think that they've overwatered their plants and it's gone floppy because they've given it too much water. No, floppy means that it hasn't got enough water. Usually what's happened, if you've put too much water on there, it's killed the roots. You've got funguses, the roots are dead, you've overwatered your houseplant, now the roots are dead, now the xylem can't do their job of sucking up the water up using transpiration. So when it's floppy, it's either because you've killed the roots and the water can't get up anymore, or you're just not watering your plants enough. A little bit every week, just a few drops. Flaccid is what it's called when it hasn't got enough water. So there's the sid part of flaccid and flaccid. So flaccid is when it hasn't got enough water in there. Turgid is when it has. The xylem moving the water up by transpiration. There's also water and minerals have to get from the roots to the leaves. The only way leaves can get water, the rain going on top of the leaf doesn't get in because there's a waterproof layer on the top of the leaf. So the only way the water can get to the leaf is up the stem. So it comes along with minerals. So minerals, yes, okay. The minimum amount of minerals are required. It's only a small amount of minerals, but without them you can't make the DNA. Without DNA, well, no cell. So minerals are needed up in the leaf. They're needed to do their job the minerals help make the chlorophyll chemicals and also the DNA. So you need nitrates, ATE means there's oxygen in the chemical, and nite means there's nitrogen. Nitrates, phosphates are also minerals, P for phosphorus, and ATE at the end means there's oxygen in there. Phosphates, nitrates, phosphates, they're absorbed by the root hairs and the roots along with the water because minerals dissolve in water, so that's okay. So they're absorbed, here we go, bed, from the flower bed. They're absorbed into the roots, and then by transpiration, the minerals and the water go up to the leaf, so the leaf can live and do its job of photosynthesis. So in the roots, when you cut them open and you put different chemicals on them so you can see which one is which, the xylem takes the water up to make sugars. The water and the carbon dioxide get together with light, photosynthesis to make sugars. The sugars now have to go down to feed the roots. So there's a separate system, so there's two systems. The xylem going up, which is an X, it's dead cells, and the phloem cells taking the sugars back down to feed the roots. You've got to keep the roots alive. So, gar, sugar. So the sugars are dissolved in water and they go down the phloem. Now phloem, oem is the easy part of the spelling. Now the F part is not an F, it's not a TH, it's a PH again. Now, why they use PHs for photosynthesis and phloem, I don't know. So phloem and xylem, the phloem is alive, it takes the sugars down to the roots. And this is what you get. There's my lovely diagram. So when you cut a root open, you get the phloem, usually in three parts. The phloem surrounded by the xylem in the vessel that does the transport. The xylem taking the water up and the phloem bringing the sugars down to feed the roots. Good. So that's what you get in a root when you cut it open and put different chemicals in there to see the phloem and the xylem. There's also, of course, starches being starches coming down to the roots. After you've made sugar, most plants will turn that food, energy food, into starch. Why? Because it's less easy for plants. They don't like it so much. Well, I like potatoes, okay, but sweet things like sugarcane and sugar beet, sugary, sweety stuff, it's just attracting loads of herbivores. You're asking for trouble. So starch is a much more durable chemical to make into your reserve of food. So if a potato plant wants to have a quick boost next year to grow leaves and stuff, then it makes a potato. And the same with carrots and onions. All of these things, they store their food energy as starch over the winter for next spring. They don't do it just so we can eat them. They are lovely to eat them. And so as it gets up the stem, the phloem and the xylem have mixed up and made a different pattern. And now you've got this pattern. Can you see that? Oh, you can see through the page to the writing. There we go. Cool. So the phloem again is the blue coloured parts and the xylem is the red coloured parts. And now they're in sort of sharing circles around a circle. 6 sharing circles is usually what they all look, and it says stem there. So that's in the stem and that's what it looks like in the root. So quite different. So in order that the roots have the energy for life, energy for life, in order to do respiration. Respiration is the keep alive chemical reaction that all living things have to do. Respiration, that's what you need your food and oxygen for. Plants make their own food with photosynthesis. Jing! And there you have it.